Our copper pipes were corroded. Watch how we fixed them and replaced them.
Our plumbing in the basement when we bought the house was a mess. It was all copper. All of the valves were corroded so bad that they were never going to work again. That's where we're going to start out. Thanks for watching. This is what the laundry room looked like when we bought the place, and we're going to look at the plumbing. So we already had these blue pipes replaced, pressure tank replaced. So now we're looking at copper lines going up, and one goes outside there. We're going to take a look at that outside. Comes over here. I'm sure none of these valves work anymore. Up to the kitchen. Over this way, down for a utility sink, which we have a new one here. And then over and down for the washing machine. This is all going to be replaced with new valves. And then a couple lines up here going out to the hot water tank and back. So I cut the old trap off of the old drain pipes, and this is how clogged the old drain pipe was. So I cut another section off, and the other end wasn't much better. And so I had to cut it shorter, and that's what we got, and that's going to have to be cleared out, and this is going to have to be cleared out. Alright, so now I'm going to try to clean out these pipes. And this one I'm just going to use the screwdriver to get this crud out of here. So after some cleaning, this is what we have now. Pipe cleared out mostly. This one mostly cleared out. I don't want to clear it out too much right now so we don't get a bunch of gunk in the bottom and clog it up. So now I'm going to clean these pipe ends up. Shine the light. So I'm working on plumbing right now, which is one of my favorite parts because it's like Legos for adults. So I have my new pipe coming over here, and I need to go to this corner and put in an elbow. So I'm going to measure 11 1/4 to where that pipe's going to stop. And then I'm going to measure from here to here because I got to take off some for that elbow. So I'm going to take off 3/4 of an inch for that elbow. So we had 11 1/4 minus 1 to 3/4 of an inch, that's 10 1/2. And then a little trick for measuring and cutting is turn your pipe so that your words are facing you. And then we're just going to go to 10 1/2. So there's a letter C right there by my finger. I'm just going to cut at that C. That way you don't have to get a marker and mark it, which usually takes 3 hands. So I'm going to get my cutter. And you got to get one of these things. Don't use a freaking spin pipe cutter. I'm just going to cut right on that C. So one of those is my piece. I'm going to have to see which one. Alright, so I have my piece now. And first we're going to put some primer on it. And I'm going to hold my piece downhill so that the primer doesn't run down the pipe. Next is our glue. I try to bring the glue over without a whole lot of glue on it because it doesn't take much and you're just going to make a mess. So get that on there. And I would just work one piece at a time. Don't put your elbow on first and then put it in there because you got to put it in, then you got to turn it. It's just easier to go one piece at a time. Just put it in there. Make sure it stops and give it a little bit of a twist. And that piece is done. So I'm ready for my elbow, which is going to be primer. So I'm ready for my elbow, which is going to be primer and glue and then elbow. Pretty simple. A lot like Legos. I like it. Update on the plumbing in the basement. Everything down here is done. So here's our main supply of water. This pipe is going to be running outside eventually. So this is our cold line. Cold going up to the kitchen. Cold continues along here into this pipe. Goes over here for the washing machine. These are both new. And it heads out that way to go to the hot water tank and it comes back hot. So the hot comes back along here and down here over to the utility sink, and that's the cold. And the hot continues over here and up on the wrong side for the kitchen sink, but I have already switched those pipes upstairs with the flexible lines. These are all the new pipes for the water tank, so I cut off the copper and went with the sharkbites here into the CPVC, which I glued last night. So it's coming down, the cold comes down here, and there is a shut off for the tank, so you can shut off the supply of cold water to the tank. You have to work on things. And then there's a shut off going upstairs. If there's a leak upstairs, you have to work on for the cold. Shut off for the hot if you have to work on stuff upstairs. And then just the line coming out for hot. And it is wired in 220, and it has its own circuit breaker over here. So that's this one right here. So it's getting 110 from here and 110 from here for 220. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out our other videos, including the plumbing upstairs below the bathroom.